In the vast, ever-turning clockwork of our solar system, there was a moment, a terrifying, chaotic, and almost forgotten moment, when Jupiter, the mighty king of planets, became a cosmic slingshot. A time when it didn't merely act as a guardian of Earth, deflecting deadly objects, but instead turned hostile, unleashing an armada of asteroids toward the fragile inner solar system. This wasn't science fiction. It wasn't just myth. It was real, carved into the very craters that scar the surfaces of the Moon, Mars, and even Earth. And for a brief, destructive chapter in cosmic history, Jupiter wasn't our protector, it was our executioner. To understand how such a thing could have happened, we have to rewind billions of years to the infancy of the solar system. Picture it, a swirling disk of gas and dust surrounding a young, violent sun. In this chaos, planets were forming, colliding, shifting orbits like dancers in a deadly waltz. Jupiter formed early, quickly becoming a colossal presence with a gravity, well, so powerful it could disrupt the orbits of everything around it. It didn't just sit quietly in the fifth orbit from the Sun. It moved, and that movement would change everything. Scientists call this ancient cosmic dance the Grand Tack hypothesis. In this scenario, Jupiter didn't stay put after it formed. Instead, it migrated inward, toward the Sun, reaching as close as the current orbit of Mars. Imagine that, a gas giant 11 times wider than Earth slowly drifting inward like a wrecking ball, dragging with it thousands of asteroids and planetesimals caught in its gravitational grip. Then, something pulled it back, perhaps the formation of Saturn, acting as a gravitational tugboat. The result was chaos, like a cosmic game of billiards. As Jupiter moved in, and then reversed course, it stirred up the asteroid belt and hurled untold numbers of rocks inward, straight into the paths of the newly forming terrestrial planets. The scars of this ancient bombardment are everywhere. The Moon's surface, peppered with craters large and small, tells the story. Mars bears the brutal wounds of massive impacts that may have helped shape its bleak, thin atmosphere. Venus, likely once a water-rich world, was scorched and slammed. And Earth, we too were struck, violently and repeatedly. One of those impacts, scientists believe, was so colossal it birthed our Moon, a result of a Mars-sized body smashing into the young Earth. Others helped shape our continents, our oceans, and perhaps even delivered the ingredients of life itself. But make no mistake, this was no gentle delivery. Jupiter's wrath rained fire and stone across our sky. The period that followed is now known as the Late Heavy Bombardment, a time when space itself seemed to turn against the young worlds of the inner solar system. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth was under siege. Cities of rock the size of mountains slammed into the surface. Oceans boiled, atmospheres burned. If life tried to emerge, it was likely snuffed out, again and again, in a brutal cosmic reset. All this, orchestrated indirectly by the wandering giant, Jupiter. But why did Jupiter behave this way? Was it simply gravity and chaos, or was there something more? Recent computer simulations suggest that Jupiter's orbit was never static, that it was nudged, jostled, even shoved by the gravitational influence of Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. As these gas giants found their final resting places in the solar system, their combined movements triggered gravitational resonances, invisible waves of force that could push entire populations of asteroids out of balance. This domino effect destabilized orbits that had been steady for millions of years. Suddenly, vast belts of icy and rocky bodies were thrown toward the Sun, and we were in the line of fire. It's a haunting irony. Today, we often call Jupiter Earth's shield, and it's true. Its massive gravity deflects or captures countless comets and asteroids that might otherwise end our species in a flash. The Shoemaker-Levy 9 impact of 1994, which smashed into Jupiter in a brilliant chain of fireballs, proved how the planet can act as a cosmic vacuum cleaner. But in the past, that same gravity made Jupiter the ultimate weapon. It didn't just protect, it also destroyed. And what about the asteroid belt? That scattered region between Mars and Jupiter, in just a random collection of rocks. It's the remains of a planet that never formed, and one theory holds that Jupiter, the reason why. As it moved through the early solar system, Jupiter's gravity stirred the region violently, preventing the material there from coalescing into a planet. The result was a graveyard, a broken promise of a world that could have been. Now imagine for a moment that you were watching the sky during that time. There were no humans then, of course, but if there had been, the view would have been both beautiful and apocalyptic. Night after night, the sky would light up with falling stars, not small specks, but streaking infernos of rock and ice the size of cities. The ground would shake, the seas would churn, volcanoes would erupt not just from Earth's own forces, but from the aftershocks of impacts. Life, if it existed, would have faced extinction again and again. And yet, somehow, through all that destruction, the seeds of life may have taken hold. Some theories suggest that the same asteroids flung by Jupiter have delivered water to Earth. I see bodies crashing into the surface and forming the early oceans. Others may have carried organic molecules, the raw materials of biology. Could it be that Jupiter, in its chaos, was also the unwitting gardener of life? The truth is, we may never fully unravel Jupiter's dual role as destroyer and deliverer, but the evidence we do have paints a picture of a planet with unimaginable influence. Its mass is more than twice that of all the other planets combined. It creates gravitational highways that comets follow. It sculpts the orbits of moons, shapes the belts of asteroids, and may even have launched entire planets out of the solar system in the distant past. Even today, Jupiter remains a wild card. New missions like NASA's Lucy and ESA's JUICE are heading to study the Trojan asteroids and Jupiter's own mysterious moons, searching for more clues about the planet's past and how it influenced the solar system's evolution. We are still learning how this gas giant, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, became such a cosmic architect. And as we peer deeper into the darkness, discovering planets around other stars, gas giants orbiting close to their suns, scorched and massive, we're reminded of how unusual and lucky our solar system might be. What if Jupiter hadn't migrated back outward? What if it had stayed close to the sun, destroying everything in its path? Earth might never have formed. Life, our life, might never have begun. Jupiter's past is a haunting reminder of how even the most majestic forces in the universe are not always gentle. Sometimes, the very thing that keeps us safe is the same thing that almost wiped us out. The scars on the moon, the craters on Mars, the shattered remnants of the asteroid belt. They all whisper the same warning. The solar system was born in fire, shaped by giants, and balanced on the knife's edge of chaos. One planet's journey reshaped everything, flinging death and possibility across millions of miles. And deep in the night sky, if you stare long enough at that brilliant, banded world, maybe you can almost feel it, the silent memory of the time Jupiter hurled asteroids at the inner solar system. A time when the fate of Earth was balanced on gravitational tides. A time when the heavens burned,